Amber Heard has been knee-deep in trouble ever since the trial exposed her donations fiasco, and new evidence reveals an astounding new piece of information. Amber didn't even sign the pledge that she claimed she did. Why would she not want to donate to a children's hospital? What is the backstory? We will uncover all in this video. When Johnny Depp and Amber Heard reached a divorce settlement in 2016, Heard announced that she'd donate her entire $7 million payout to charity. She said the money would be split between two organizations, the American Civil Liberties Union and Children's Hospital Los Angeles. By October 2018, Heard had received the full settlement amount, and she testified in Depp's defamation trial against her. She also said in a media interview at around the same time that she had already donated the funds. But an ACLU executive testified earlier in the trial that the organization never received the full $3.5 million it was promised, and that about half the donations it received in Heard's name came from Elon Musk, the billionaire CEO of Tesla who dated Heard after her breakup with Depp. Heard said on the stand Monday that she still planned to donate all of the money she promised, but that Depp's lawsuit, which demands up to $50 million in damages, got in the way. "I still fully intend on honoring all of my pledges," Heard said. "I would love him to stop suing me so I can." In April, Terrence Doherty, the general counsel and chief operating officer of the ACLU, testified in the ongoing trial that $1.3 million had been donated in Heard's name overall, with $350,000 directly from her and $100,000 from Depp and $500,000 from Musk in her name. Doherty showed the jury a pledge form, unsigned by Heard, laying out how Heard could pay the full $3.5 million over 10 years. On the witness stand in the Fairfax County, Virginia, courthouse, Heard said she promised the entirety of it to charity because I was never interested in Johnny's money. She said she selected the ACLU as an organization for funds because she believed in its mission and selected the Children's Hospital because she had volunteered there for more than a decade and believed it could use the funds. When asked by her lawyer in direct examination whether the donations had a deadline, Heard said there are none. They understand. Now, this is in stark contrast to what she's previously said on TV appearances.
And then there was a divorce settlement, you got $7 million. People were saying this is all about the money, but then you did something that twisted that whole argument. What did you do with that money?
$7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and Children's Hospital.
The pledge agreement calls for her to donate the money over the course of 10 years, starting in August 2016. But she hasn't made a payment since December 2018, ACLU Chief Operating Officer and General Counsel Terrence Doherty said in recorded video testimony. When the ACLU reached out to Heard about another installment of her gift in 2019, Doherty added, "We learned that she was having financial difficulties." Heard made the pledge as she ended her marriage to Depp, saying she would split $7 million between the ACLU and Children's Hospital Los Angeles. Heard has been credited with donating $1.3 million in 4 installments. Doherty said, but not all of the money came directly from her. $100,000 was from Depp, and another $500,000 is from a Vanguard account the ACLU believes to be associated with Elon Musk. Doherty is in charge of the ACLU's financial, legal, and other departments. In his evidence, he was also probed about the ACLU's role in the op-ed that caused Depp to sue Heard, a 2018 op-ed published by the Washington Post in which Heard advocated for changes in how the United States treats abuse survivors and urged support for the Violence Against Women Act. Doherty outlined the process of writing the op-ed, which he said was approved by both the ACLU and Heard's legal team. He described email exchanges about how closely the piece should mention Depp, with Heard's attorneys claiming that naming him would violate the terms of a non-disclosure agreement in her divorce settlement, and the ACLU's lawyers claiming that the piece wouldn't have the same impact if Depp wasn't mentioned. Heard definitely invoked her personal experiences in the final work, but she did not mention Depp by name. Her legal team claims she just stated the truth in the op-ed. During his evidence, Doherty recharacterized Heard's donation as a pledge, and the group presented to the court an undated, unsigned pledge form that it claims was made in 2016. However, the commitment form was printed on letterhead with the ACLU's centenary logo, suggesting the possibility that it was created lately. According to a spokeswoman for the charity, the logo was first used for fundraising reasons in 2014. And now we know that she didn't even sign those pledges. Depp attorney Ben Chu argued in court that the ACLU actively worked to cover up the fact that Heard never made good on her $3.5 million donation. They helped her lie about it, Chu said, and it's one thing, Your Honor, for her to stiff the ACLU, which frankly played a reprehensible role in this case. It's quite another for her to fail to honor her obligation to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles with sick and dying children, and that she failed to do as well. In his 2019 court complaint, Depp said the op-ed plainly was about Ms. Heard's purported victimization after she publicly accused her former husband, Johnny Depp, of domestic abuse in 2016 when she appeared in court with an apparently battered face and obtained a temporary restraining order against Mr. Depp. Heard's staff and the ACLU went through several rounds of editing on the Post piece. Doherty stated that based on my review of prior drafts of the op-ed, I knew that she was referring to Johnny Depp and her marriage. Doherty further stated that Heard wanted the piece to be published around the same time as her 2018 action blockbuster Aquaman, in order to provide awareness to the subject she was pushing for. Not only did Amber not donate the amount she said she had already donated, there is also suspicion that she stopped Johnny from donating the amount in her place.
I don't understand what your question is. I'm sorry.
You stopped Mr. Depp from paying the charities that you had named directly.
What's even more bizarre is the ACLU's place in the growing scandal, as they seem to be covering and conspiring with Heard as Depp's defamation lawsuit against her presses on. The venerated nonprofit suggested to The Hollywood Reporter in 2018 that Heard had donated the full $3.5 million with its director of artist engagement, Jessica Herman White, saying, "I don't think anyone would have looked differently at her if she kept the settlement money that was due to her, but she knew that money could do more for others than it could for her. What that money was able to do to help protect women and other gender-based violence victims will go a long way to make a difference for the people that we serve. That was my first interaction with her, which is pretty bold. It was not, I'll throw you a tweet. It was, I'm putting my money where my mouth is." Depp's lawyers held her feet to the fire, though, countering Heard's point that she's spent $6 million fighting Depp in court. Ms. Heard had the entirety of the divorce settlement in her possession for well over a year before Johnny began any legal proceedings against her, a spokesperson for Depp said. Within 5 minutes of receiving the funds, she could have written a check to support sick children at the CHLA and advance the cause of the ACLU, but she did neither, all the while publicly claiming it had already been done. Though Heard and Musk had split up by 2018, his friendship with the ACLU remained strong. According to the foundation, Musk has donated $6 million to its coffers to date. Amber Heard, however, was grilled about donating her $7 million divorce settlement during her post-trial interview with Today co-host Savannah Guthrie last week, with the actress declaring that she shouldn't have had to have donated at all. Guthrie questioned Heard about being caught in a lie and questioned whether this raised doubts about her credibility to the jury. Following the high-profile trial, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's paths took completely opposite directions. While she was stubbornly pursuing an appeal, he has been completely matter-of-fact, with plans for an upcoming film and an album to be released alongside his friend Jeff Beck. As if that wasn't enough, Depp also made several donations to charities and hospitals around the world amounting to approximately $800,000 from the proceeds of the sale of NFTs that he posted online during the defamation trial. So, do you think Amber was ever going to donate the amount she pledged? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Goodbye.